Welcome back to the fun and interesting science channel. Dear friends, asteroid Bennu is a carbonaceous asteroid, belonging to a group of primitive asteroids rich in organic compounds. It is classified as an Apollo asteroid, doomsday asteroid. This is a potential threat to Earth, based on information from the U.S. National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA. With a size of over 500 meters and a weight 1,500 times that of the Titanic. If asteroid Bennu were to hit Earth, the collision will release an energy greater than the total energy of all nuclear weapons ever detonated in human history. The destructive force is approximately 80,000 times greater than that of the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. Scientists predict that in the not-too-distant future, asteroid Bennu will have the potential to approach Earth. It will pass by at a very close distance to Earth, and there is also a possibility it could crash directly into our planet. Since 2016, in the face of these potential threats, scientists have launched a probe into space on a mission to explore and collect samples from the asteroid Bennu. According to the plan, this spacecraft will land on the surface of the asteroid Bennu this year and bring the sample back to Earth in 2023. So today, I am delighted to invite you all to join me in exploring the mysteries of this asteroid. And stay tuned to see what plans scientists will devise in the future to deal with asteroids. If there were an orbit that headed straight for Earth. Now, let us embark on this journey of discovery together. Bennu is a carbon-rich asteroid belonging to the Apollo group of asteroids. On September 11, 1999, the Linear Project discovered it for the first time. A research project on near-Earth asteroids conducted by the U.S. Air Force in coordination with NASA and Lincoln Laboratory. From the moment it was discovered, Bennu became a primary focus for the scientific community. They calculated and determined that this is an asteroid with an orbit around the Sun. At perihelion, it is approximately 0.897 astronomical units, from the Sun. Earth's aphelion is approximately 1.356 astronomical units from the Sun. With this orbit, it is classified as a potentially hazardous object to Earth. With an orbital eccentricity of 0.2037 and an orbital inclination of 6.0349 degrees. S orbit came very close to Earth. The closest orbital approach between asteroid Bennu and Earth is only about 0.00322 astronomical units apart, equivalent to 480,000 kilometers. This means that at some point, it could even approach Earth at a distance only slightly greater than that from the Moon to us. After analyzing the asteroid Bennu's trajectory, scientists have reached a conclusion about its risk of colliding with Earth. Asteroid Bennu has a 1 in 2,700 chance of colliding with Earth. While this is a rather small probability, in this universe, there are countless things we simply cannot foresee. Therefore, this is an asteroid that receives special attention from the scientific community. To explore this asteroid in greater depth, on September 8, 2016, NASA's OSIRIS-REx probe was launched and flew directly to the asteroid Bennu. As of December 3, 2018, the probe had successfully reached the asteroid. It is orbiting the asteroid to analyze its surface and is expected to land on it this year. The spacecraft will then proceed to its next mission of collecting samples from the asteroid's surface and is scheduled to return to Earth in September 2023. NASA stated that the spacecraft could retrieve a minimum of 60 grams of samples. When the sample is brought back to Earth, scientists will conduct a more thorough analysis of this asteroid. Initial observations indicate that Bennu has a nearly spherical shape. It rotates on an axis tilted 178 degrees relative to its own orbital plane. The dimensions of asteroid Bennu are determined to be 565 meters by 535 meters by 508 meters. Given this size, the asteroid's average diameter is estimated to be approximately 245.03 meters. Because Bennu is a carbon-rich asteroid, its measured mass is quite substantial. According to calculations, this mass is approximately 7.329 x 10 to the power of 10 kilogram, equivalent to 73.29 million tons. With this mass, it is approximately 1,581 times heavier than the Titanic. Assuming an asteroid were to collide with Earth, it could potentially spell doomsday for humanity. Based on that size and mass, it is estimated that when it collided with Earth, the energy released by this supernova explosion would be approximately 80,000 times greater than that of the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima, Japan. It is precisely because of Bennu's increasing level of danger that scientists have paid particular attention to this asteroid. As the OSIRIS-REx probe approached the asteroid, it sent back high-resolution images to Earth. Indeed, scientists have discovered approximately 200 rocks larger than 10 meters on the surface of the asteroid Bennu. The largest of these rocks has a diameter of up to 18 meters. Additionally, the surface of the asteroid Bennu features a ridge that runs along its equator. In the mountain's rocky crevices, many dust particles accumulate, carried there by the wind. Perhaps it is precisely the weak gravity on asteroid Bennu, combined with its rapid rotation, that caused these dust particles to accumulate along the ridges. According to calculations, asteroid Bennu has a relatively fast rotation speed. It took a mere 4.3 hours to complete one full rotation around the summit. Furthermore, with a distance to the Sun equivalent to Earth's, this asteroid takes 436.6 Earth days to complete one orbital cycle. 1 year on the asteroid Bennu is equivalent to approximately 1.2 years on Earth. Scientists use the most advanced techniques to calculate the orbit of asteroid Bennu. They predict that on September 23, 2060, asteroid Bennu will make a very close approach to Earth. At that time, the asteroid will skim past Earth at a distance of 0.005 astronomical units, equivalent to 750,000 kilometers, a distance nearly twice that between Earth and the Moon. Following this approach, scientists have determined that in the future, this asteroid will come even closer to Earth. On September 25, 2135, scientists predict that asteroid Bennu will skim past Earth at an extremely close distance. At that point, it may be only about 0.002 astronomical units, from Earth, equivalent to 300,000 kilometers, a distance even closer than that from Earth to the Moon. However, scientists also hypothesize that at that time, Bennu may have skimmed past Earth at a distance of just 100,000 kilometers. At such a close distance, if the asteroid were to pass Earth's critical gravitational threshold, the consequences would be truly catastrophic. As gravitational threshold, it will inevitably plunge into our planet. If Bennu passes this critical gravitational threshold, it will undoubtedly become a grave threat to life on Earth. Although the probability of asteroid Bennu colliding with Earth in the future is only about 1 in 2,700. But no one can be certain that in the future, it won't crash into Earth. Because, when moving through space, even a small collision with a meteor or another asteroid is enough to alter that asteroid's orbit. While this change is very small, in the long run, it will create profoundly significant impacts. Therefore, monitoring and analyzing the trajectories of asteroids that pose a threat to Earth is an extremely important task for the scientific community. Not only does it help us understand more about the universe, it also assists scientists in providing early warnings of asteroids at risk of colliding directly with Earth. Given Bennu's considerable size, if this asteroid were to head straight for Earth on a collision course, the most effective interception method would likely be to deflect it. However, some scientists point out that implementing this plan is not at all simple. According to them, spacecraft serving as orbital guidance stations would need to be launched 7.5 years in advance for the plan to be feasible. This means that if scientists want to change the trajectory of asteroid Bennu, they would need to be warned at least 7.5 years in advance. If they only receive the warning at a later time, perhaps the only viable option at that point would be to use weapons to destroy this asteroid. Hopefully in the future, we will not have to face the threat from asteroid Bennu, and we can hope that it will simply destroy itself somewhere out in the solar system. As orbit, scientists have made predictions about the asteroid. Accordingly, they estimate a 48% chance the asteroid will fall into the Sun and a 10% chance it will be ejected from the solar system. The probability of the asteroid colliding with Venus is 26% and with Mercury is 3%, not 8% with Mars or 2% with Jupiter. The remaining probability, approximately 10%, is the chance it will hit Earth. This forecast is sure to make many people do a double take. This is considered a relatively high probability, but it certainly will not happen this year or in the next few years. It would likely take decades, or even centuries.